All right, so welcome everyone to our little information session on the All Access Prep series. I believe some of you are already registered for the series, which is great, and some of you aren't, which is a perfect time for you to be here. So we'll be talking all about the series today. My name is William Klippenstein. I'm the Bilingual Communications Coordinator at OnScreen Manitoba. And a little bit about me, I did a joint program between Red River College and the University of Winnipeg called Creative Communications. And at the U of W, I studied film, and at Red River College, I focused on media production. So that's my background through education, and then I worked on some projects in my own time, and I started OnScreen Manitoba in September of 2020. I've been working here for a little bit over a year now, and it's been going really great, and I'm really excited to talk to you all today about the All Access Prep series. So OnScreen Manitoba's office is located on, and we are broadcasting from Treaty 1 territory, the territories of Cree, Oji-Cree, Anishinaabe, Dakota, Dene, and Métis nations, now known as Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. For over 100 years, Shoal Lake and Treaty 3 territory has provided water for Winnipeg. And for anyone who may be visually impaired, I'm a white man with black glasses and short hair, and behind me is a office space with chairs and desks and shelves. So a little bit about OnScreen Manitoba. OnScreen Manitoba is the industry association for the media production industry in Manitoba. So basically what that means is we work on behalf of the industry to make the industry a better place for everyone. And that could mean a lot of things. It could mean working with government, working with industry stakeholders, and I mean government at all levels, municipal, provincial, and federal. And it can mean working with different production companies, with individual filmmakers or unions or other stakeholders and that sort of thing. And it kind of gets summed up very, very well in this one sentence, which is building a positive filming environment in Manitoba is what OnScreen Manitoba does. And that is seen through all kinds of work that we do, including outreach, training initiatives, and things like the All Access Prep series as we're working to develop the next generation of filmmakers. So the membership of OnScreen Manitoba is diverse, not just in type of membership, but in who our members are. So they come from different communities, such as the Francophone community, Indigenous community, and BIPOC community, and LGBT communities. And there's also different types of membership, as in production companies. So that's like Eagle Vision, Buffalo Gal Pictures, Farpoint Films, that sort of thing. And then we also have service supplier members, and those are companies that essentially will provide very specific services to the media production industry, like rentals or like PPE is a big one right now because of COVID, and that sort of thing. And we also have industry stakeholders. So these are organizations that have some sort of stake in our industry who are our members. And then, of course, individual filmmakers and writers, producers, directors are also part of our membership. So we don't have over 2,000 members, but through the work that we do, we are representing over 2,000 industry professionals in Manitoba. And that's very much the Coles Notes version of what OnScreen Manitoba is. I could go into a lot more detail, but it would take a very long time. But just know that, in essence, what we do is we work to build a positive filming environment in the province. So All Access is our yearly industry event. It happens every year in January, and this year it's taking place from January 18th to 20th, 2022. And basically what it is, it's a day for people in Manitoba, filmmakers, producers, distributors, stakeholders to come together and learn about what's going on in the industry and how that affects their work, and also to meet new people and have conversations, catch up. For many people, they will catch up with their colleagues, and a big thing that we do is explore industry trends. So what that means is there'll be a really hot topic going on, or there'll be a real hot topic in the industry. And it's something that is everyone is talking about, everyone's thinking about, and we like to go over things like this at All Access and discuss how that affects day-to-day work and how producers need to be thinking about this as they continue to work on different projects. And I'll get into that a little bit more later about All Access. But I will mention that there will be common themes between some of the sessions and some of the things I'm talking about today, because it's all kind of linked together in regards to the overall learning experience. So All Access is definitely an opportunity to expand your knowledge, and you'll have a chance to meet new people. Like I said, there's all sorts of people come to All Access every year, including distributors, executives, broadcast executives, producers, directors, writers, filmmakers, and that sort of thing. And this is not really well, it is part of the prep series, but it's not included in the prep series, if that makes sense. But at All Access, lots of filmmakers will join us for All Access, and they'll pitch projects to distributors and funders and that sort of thing. And this prep series is about giving you the fundamental information you need to be successful at All Access in the future. So you can go to All Access and meet with a distributor and meet with a funder and actually pitch them a project. And this series is designed to give you those skills so you are set up for success in the future. Because anyone can attend All Access, but whether or not you're going to be successful, it depends on what kind of skills you have going in and what kind of knowledge you have going in. You can go to All Access and learn about different topics, but if you really want to maximize your experience and maximize your success at the forum, it's really important to have this foundational knowledge. So that is why we are creating the All Access Prep Series. The All Access Prep Series is an introduction to All Access and the media production industry in Manitoba. So we're going to kind of go over what's going to happen at All Access and give you some background information on the industry and how you can get started in the industry. And at the All Access Prep Series, you will learn how to pitch from Rebecca Gibson, who is partner and head of development at Eagle Vision. And if you don't know Rebecca, I suggest you Google her after the presentation, because she's really great, has done a lot of great work in the province, and is very well respected, and is the perfect person to be running these sessions and for you to make a connection with. And this prep series is definitely an opportunity to learn from her and to make those sorts of connections. And up next, we have networking, which is a huge part of this prep series. You'll be meeting industry colleagues, people at the same level as you, and as well as industry experts, people in different positions throughout the industry, including producers and that sort of thing, other filmmakers. And as I'm sure you are all aware, making connections and networking is a really important part of being successful in the media production industry. So it's definitely worthwhile to get those connections going early on in your career. And then later on, you'll explore Get On Set Manitoba, which is it's a website that's run by OnScreen Manitoba. And basically what it is, it provides an overview of the industry and the different roles in it. And I'll get into more detail about that a little bit later. And then also you'll be able to have a chance to meet different industry stakeholders and learn about what their roles are. And again, I'll get into that in just a little bit. And I will mention that the All Access Prep Series, those sessions will not be recorded with the exception of this information session. But All Access itself will be recorded. So because it's happening 9 to 5 or around those hours similar to that. So if you have to work during the day or you can't make a session, they will be recorded and available to you after the fact. So please keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the presentation. So the first session that we have in the All Access Prep Series is The Pitch, a how-to guide for emerging filmmakers, part 1, pitching yourself. And this is taking place on November 10th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So that's next week already. It's next week. So a week from today at the exact same time as today's session is at. So at this session, you will learn how to pitch yourself and your skills, because there's more to pitching than knowing what your project is and what makes up your project and what the pieces are of the project that you're pitching. If let's say you want to pitch a TV series to HBO, which would be a really phenomenal opportunity. You have to be able to also show why you are the right person to be developing this project, why you're the right person to be telling the story, why you're the right person to be working with HBO. And they're going to want to hear that and what skills you can bring to the table to make sure that this project is a success. And this is a really, really key factor of pitching. And if you can't do this, it's going to be a lot more difficult in your career to move forward and pitch your own projects and get them developed. So at this session, you'll learn how to introduce yourself, which goes beyond saying hello, my name is, and then moving on. It's going to be about making sure that the person understands something fundamental about you, something that they will remember, something that they'll be reminded of later on. Let's say they're thinking of, oh, I really need a person who does this. Are you that person? Were you able to get that information across? You need to be able to do these things if you want to be successful in the industry. And so you'll learn how to properly introduce yourself and showcase what you have to offer. And this is a great way to create connections, not just I know this person's name, but I think I know who this person is, or I know this fundamental thing about them that's going to help me to know if they're going to be the right fit for this project or role or whatever it might be. This session is facilitated by Rebecca Gibson, partner and head of development at Eagle Vision, and Kulbinder Saran Caldwell. And like I said earlier, Rebecca Gibson is a great person to know and a great person to be running this session. So the next session in the series is the pitch, a how-to guide for emerging filmmakers, part 2, pitching your project, which is happening on Wednesday, November 17th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So in this session, we'll be going over more around like the meat and potatoes of what is a pitch and the different pieces that make up a pitch. Because now the opposite of what I just said of you need to be able to pitch yourself, you do also absolutely need to be able to pitch your project and say, hey, this is why this project is really, really great. And this is why you're going to want to have it. This is why you're going to want to distribute it. This is why you're going to want to fund it and produce it. And so in this session, it'll be focused specifically on pitching projects and how to put that together. And if you look here on the right, this is a picture of Joanne Roberts at the $10,000 Emerging Filmmaker Pitch Competition at the Gimli Film Festival. And she won the 2020 competition. So she got $10,000 in support to make a short film. And she had to pitch it to a jury, and they then later decided, oh, who of all our participants today we're gonna win this pitch competition. And so this is just one opportunity of many for you to be able to get funding for your projects, and you have to be able to pitch effectively if you want to secure these opportunities. And this session again is facilitated by Rebecca Gibson. Partner and head of development Eagle Vision, as well as Julie DeCresci and Cynthia Murdoch. So up next, we have the All Access 2022 prep session, which is dedicated specifically to preparing you for All Access 2022. And this one is happening about a week before All Access takes place. It's happening on January 12th, 2022 from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We're planning to have a session in English and a session in French, but the French session, the details are to be determined. So this session will provide you with a high-level overview of All Access 2022. So basically, it's going to go into what is All Access, how can it help you, what sessions are there for you, what should you be paying attention to, what should you be thinking about as you attend this forum, and it'll specifically go over sessions for student and emerging filmmakers, ones that are going to be important to you, because not every single session it's unlikely every single session is going to be completely relevant to you. I mean, it's going to be relevant maybe tangentially, but for the places where you are in your careers, there's some that might not be as relevant. So it's going to tell you which ones you should be keeping an eye out for. And as I mentioned earlier, everything's going to be recorded. So if you do miss a session, you can always go back and watch it later. And it's also going to be a really great opportunity to ask questions to someone who has been to the conference, who's been to the forum. The person leading or facilitating the session will be someone who's been to All Access before and who's very familiar with the industry. And you'll have an opportunity to ask that person questions. Yet to be determined, but it will be someone who will be familiar with All Access and who has a lot of industry experience. So up next is All Access 2022, which is the event itself, which it can't really be summed up in one slide because it is a 3-day event full of programming, full of different sessions and panels and case studies and discussions and interviews. There's a lot of information that is sent out during All Access every year. So with All Access, there's programming in English or there's programming in French. And usually there's a bit of crossover between the two with some similar themes, but there are also there's also sessions that are exclusive to each language, which is really, so if you're bilingual, you can learn something that you might not be able to learn if you weren't bilingual. So at All Access 2022, there will be a session where you'll be able to discuss your experiences so far with other prep series participants. You'll be able to go, hey, I really thought this was interesting. What did you think about it? And then you can share those experiences, share those knowledges, and just kind of not only reinforce your knowledge of what you're learning, but also reinforce and continue to build those relationships with other people who are in the program, because these relationships will hopefully be with you for the rest of your careers, because you never know when someone is going to have work for you or say, hey, I really need this person to do this. You'll have a chance to meet industry experts. There's all sorts of people, as I mentioned earlier, who attend All Access from all over the place, and they all have different experiences and need people for different things. And they can all offer something different to you and your careers. And as with all of you, you all have something that you can offer them as well. So have a chance to meet these people. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll explore industry trends. You'll learn about what's going on in the industry, what you need to be paying attention to, and that sort of thing. And also, as I mentioned, all sessions will be recorded. So after All Access, we still have 2 sessions left. The first of which being Get On Set Manitoba, which will be happening in February 2022. We have not yet fully confirmed the date. It is a couple months away still, but it will be happening in February. And in this session, we're just going to focus on OnScreen Manitoba's Get On Set Manitoba website, which kind of showcases pathways into the industry and how you can find a way into the industry and how you can find your role in the industry. And especially if you want to be like a producer, director, or writer, those roles often need to be financed by something. And that could mean working on set. That could mean working in a production office. That could mean all sorts of things. And not only do you get some money to fund your projects, but you get on-set experience, which is also very valuable. So this Get On Set Manitoba presentation, we'll go over Get On Set Manitoba and how it can help you in your career. And it provides a high-level overview of the industry as well, just like information about production volume and that sort of thing. And on Get On Set Manitoba, there's information about different roles on set or in the production office or that sort of thing. So if you wanted to learn about being a grip, there's information on the training you need, the skills you need, what equipment requirements or what equipment is required and who you need to contact to get on set and find work. And finally, the last session is Meet the Stakeholders. And this session is going to be held in March 2022. Again, exact date to be confirmed. And in this one, you'll be learning about different industry stakeholders and their roles in the industry. So this means like the unions. So IATSE Local 856, Directors Guild of Canada, Manitoba District Council, ACTRA, ICG 669, and also different organizations like the Winnipeg Film Group and Video Pool and all these different organizations, OnScreen Manitoba, all these different organizations that are there to help you and support you as you look to develop your careers. And you'll be able to meet them as well. It's not just you're going to learn about them, you're going to be able to meet them, which is a really, really great experience, especially for someone who's looking to get on set. And so that is the last session. So why is this series important? Why is this series important to emerging filmmakers and student filmmakers? Well, first and foremost, you're going to be learning key skills that you need to be successful in the industry. And most specifically, pitching, you'll be learning how to pitch, but also different soft skills that you're going to develop just from attending sessions, meeting people, and just like learning how producers and filmmakers interact with one another. But more specifically, pitching is a really, really big skill you're going to learn. And as I went over earlier in great detail, you have to be able to pitch to be successful. Even to think of a job interview. When you're in a job interview, you're pitching yourself. You're saying, here's who I am. These are the skills that I have. And here's why I'm going to be a good worker for you. Here's why I'm right for this role. That's a pitch. In essence, that is a pitch. And even if you're not going to pitch a specific project anytime soon, these skills that you're going to learn are going to help you day to day with finding work and meeting people and making valuable connections. Which is the next thing on the list. Networking. You're going to be able to meet people. You're going to be able to meet like-minded people. You're going to be able to meet filmmakers and stakeholders and producers and that sort of thing. You're going to be able to meet people in the industry and make connections with them with your new pitching skills that you just developed. You're going to know how to talk to them, what to say, how to make sure that you get yourself across. You make yourself as the point of a conversation, how they will remember you. And these connections are extremely valuable. And I can provide a specific example. When I graduated from Red River College, I graduated in March 2020, which is one of the worst possible times to have graduated from school, as I'm sure you're all aware. But I had a good connection with my instructors. One of them sent me a job opportunity and I had work. And then later on, I made a connection through a work placement. That person sent me this job opportunity to OnScreen Manitoba, and I'm still working here. So coming out from school, 2 of the jobs that I had were specifically related to connections I had made. And just goes to show how important these connections are, especially as you want to make your own projects and you need to find people to work with. So it's also going to be interactive. And I think this is a really, really important part of why this series is so effective, or will be so effective, is that we don't want it to be like you're in high school and you're in a science class and the science teacher's not even looking at you and writing on the wall or on the whiteboard and you're just taking down notes. This is going to be more active learning. We want you to participate. We want you to contribute to the discussion. We want you to share your own experiences. We want you to talk with each other and just together build this great experience for everyone. And this will just help solidify the learning in all of you and contribute to the effectiveness of the series. Another big one is that you'll know where your supports are. So this is why meeting the stakeholders is so important, because there's going to be times in your career where you say, I really need this. I really need this one thing. I really need it. Where do I go? And you're going to know at least where you can start, if not where that support is. And everybody's going to need help throughout their careers in some capacity. And it's important to know who you can go to get that support when you need it the most. You also get industry event experience, which is a really important thing as well, especially for emerging filmmakers who are sending out shorts to film festivals and that sort of thing. Because if you make a short film and you get it into the Toronto International Film Festival, you're going to want to go to that festival and meet people and continue to make connections with the pitching skills you now have. And to meet people and just continue to show off your work and show why you are so great at your role and why you are the right person to be in their network and why they should be thinking of you next time they're working on a project, or why they should be keeping an eye on the trajectory of your career. And this is a really common thing in the industry where you're going to these events and you're meeting people and you're showing off your work. And so this All Access Prep series is an opportunity for you to get a taste of what that experience is like. And I mean, this year it's online, as it's like the whole prep series is online and All Access will be held online. But as things start opening up again, there's going to be in-person experiences coming up for you, and these skills are still transferable, pitching and networking and that sort of thing. And another big one is you can learn how you can get started in the industry. Specifically, the Get On Set Manitoba session will help with that. But if you're looking to get work on set, that session will help you a lot. And knowing where to start is very helpful as well. Because I know when I graduated, and even when I was in school, I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? Who do I talk to? And it can be overwhelming. And I know it's overwhelming because there's so many things that you can do. And so there are supports out there to help you focus your passion for filmmaking and your desire to work in this industry into a role, and into paid work, which is really, really good. And I have a really great example of this actually as well. This is my older brother. He was a professional ballet dancer for several years, and he retired earlier this year. And he worked landscaping for a bit over the summer, but the season was winding down. It's like all the plants are going into hibernation. So he's like, okay, well, I need to find other work. And I said, why don't you try the film industry? And he's never worked on set before. I think he was an extra in a movie once or twice, but he didn't, it was years ago. He never had real on-set experience, real recent on-set experience at the very least. And so I said, why don't you think about the film industry? And he's like, sure. And I showed him the Get On Set Manitoba website. And long story short, about 2 weeks ago, he started working on set for the first time. And it's continued to be successful for him. And he's going to be doing that, from my understanding, at least for the next little while. And it's proven to be very fruitful and very effective for him. And finally, learning about industry trends. Very, very important. You have to be up to date with what's going on in the industry. It really is crucial to making sure that you and your project will be successful. You need to be aware of policy changes. You need to be aware of other trends. You need to be aware of what people are talking about. You need to be aware of where the industry is moving, because you need to be able to put these into effect on your projects. And I guess a very specific example of this, although I don't know if it'll be discussed at All Access yet, we're still finalizing the programming, but even just thinking about COVID-19 protocols, it's crucial that you're up to date on what those protocols are and how you can implement them in your film set. And that's just an example of why it's important to be paying attention, because you have to follow the protocols. So you have to be up to date on them, which is why it's so important to be aware of what's going on. So the rates, this is more so for people who have not registered yet, but our non-member rate. So if you're not a member of OnScreen Manitoba, it's $100 for the complete series plus GST. And so with that, you get an OnScreen Manitoba student membership or a $25 membership credit if you're not a student. But the student membership is $25. You get access to all 5 sessions, and you get a pass to All Access 2022, but it does not include one-on-one meetings, which is where people would normally pitch their projects and that sort of thing. Every year at All Access will curate a series of one-on-one meetings for people who are registered. So I know it says $155 value, but personally, I think the value is much greater than that. The $155 comes from just adding together the prices that we've attached to everything. But just as the investment in yourselves, in your professional development and your careers, the information and the connections you'll make, I think, will provide greater value down the road. And then the member rate is very similar to the OSM or to the non-member rate. Basically, if you're not a member of, or if you are a member of OnScreen Manitoba, it just removes the membership credit, and so it just evens out to be exactly the same, more or less. And you can also attend individual sessions for $20 plus GST per session, and that does not include All Access. And if pricing is a barrier at all, and you're concerned about whether or not it's going to be too expensive, you're more than welcome to send me an email at any time. We're very happy to work with everyone, because our goal is to ensure everyone has a chance to participate, not to limit anyone from participating. We want everyone to be participating. So with that, I'm more than happy to answer any questions anyone has. I also included my email here if anyone would like to reach out and ask me any questions on their own. So everyone has the floor. If anyone would like to ask a question, fire away.
I have a question.
Sure.
So are you, after you pay the fees to go to these events, is that pitching included? Can you pitch your projects and stuff like that?
No, it's not included this year. It's not included with it's not included with the All Access Prep Series, because the idea of the Prep Series is to give you the skills where you'll be successful in those situations down the line. The pitching your own projects is more so for people who are registering for All Access on its own, and then through that you can schedule curated one-on-one meetings, and in those meetings you can pitch your project to various individuals in the industry. But this series will teach you how to be more effective in those situations.
Okay, cool.
Anyone else have any other questions? No? Okay, well, if no one else has any other questions, then I encourage you all as well to subscribe to In Focus, which is our newsletter. Basically, every week we'll provide updates on the media production industry, and as well as news of some of our members and what they're up to. And we'll also provide information on opportunities and resources that are available to you in any given week. And then we also keep track of them on our website under the opportunities and resources page. And just that page will give you a really great idea of how many opportunities are out there for student and emerging filmmakers, including like funding and learning and pitching opportunities and that sort of thing. And then also I encourage you to follow us on social media, because we'll post opportunities or more information fairly regularly. So if no one else has any other questions, I thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. And I hope you learned something. Oh, we have one thing in the chat. Oh, that's a thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining today. And I hope to see you all at the first session next week with Rebecca Gibson.